Here's what you must understand about the 1%. These are not necessarily the people with the most money, though many of them have abundance. These are not necessarily the most educated, though many of them are learned. The 1% I speak of are those who have discovered that they are the operant power in their own lives. They know that nothing comes to them by accident, that everything in their experience is the result of their own consciousness in action. For the next 2 days, and I emphasize only 2 days because that is all that is required. If you do this correctly, you are going to revolutionize your inner dialogue. You are going to speak to yourself as the person you intend to be, not as the person you appear to be in this world of shadows and limitations. You are going to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and maintain that assumption regardless of what your physical senses may be telling you. Listen carefully to what you must say to yourself. Begin each morning by affirming with complete conviction, I am exactly who I have always wanted to be. My life is unfolding perfectly according to my deepest desires. Every door opens before me. Every path leads to my success. Every person I encounter contributes to my good. Do not say these words mechanically. Feel them. Believe them. Live in the feeling of them being absolutely true. Throughout your day, whenever your attention turns inward, continue this inner dialogue of triumph. When challenges appear, do not react from your old patterns of thought. Instead, speak to yourself as one who has already overcome every obstacle. Say to yourself, this situation is working out perfectly for my benefit. I am protected. I am guided. I am blessed. What appears as a problem is actually my good coming to me in a form I do not yet recognize. When you encounter people who have what you desire, do not speak to yourself from envy or lack. Instead, affirm, I am so grateful that others are demonstrating what is possible for me. Their success is proof that my success is certain. What they have achieved, I am achieving. What they possess, I possess in consciousness, and consciousness is the only reality. This is crucial, my friends. You must understand that the world you see around you is nothing more than your consciousness pushed out. It is the external reflection of your internal conversations. When you change your inner speech, you change your world. It cannot be otherwise, for there is no power outside of your own consciousness that can create your experience. Now let me address those doubts that are arising in your minds. You are thinking, but what about my circumstances? What about my limitations? What about the evidence of my senses? I tell you now, these things have no power except the power you give them through your attention and your inner speech. The person who belongs to the 1% knows that circumstances are outpicturings of consciousness, not causes of experience. During these 2 days, when negative evidence presents itself, you must discipline yourself to respond differently. Instead of acknowledging the appearance of limitation, speak to yourself as one for whom all things are possible. Say, what I see is not my truth. My truth is that which I am affirming and feeling within myself. I am not a victim of circumstances. I am the creator of circumstances through my inner conversations. You see, the masses live in a state of inner confusion. Their self-talk is chaotic, contradictory, and filled with doubt and fear. They affirm their limitations all day long. They speak to themselves about their problems, their lacks, their fears, their inadequacies. And then they wonder why these very things persist and multiply in their experience. They have not learned the fundamental law that whatever you assume to be true, your subconscious mind will accept as true and bring to pass. But you, my dear friends, are different. You are among the few who will have the courage to apply this teaching. For the next 2 days, your inner speech will be that of a victor, not a victim. You will speak to yourself as one who is blessed, not cursed. You will affirm your success, not your failure. You will assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not the feeling of lack and limitation. Here is the specific language you must use in your inner conversations. When you think about your finances, do not speak of lack or worry. Instead, say to yourself, money flows to me easily and continuously. I am prosperous in all my ways. The unexpected income comes to me from multiple sources. I am grateful for the abundance that is mine by right of consciousness. Feel these words as you speak them internally. Live in the assumption that they are absolutely true. When you think about your relationships, do not dwell on loneliness or conflict. Instead, affirm I am surrounded by loving, supportive people. I attract wonderful relationships into my life. I am loved, appreciated, and valued. My heart is open to give and receive love in all its beautiful forms. Can you feel the difference in these words? Can you sense how they would reshape your entire emotional state? If you truly believe them. When you consider your health, do not focus on symptoms or concerns. Speak to yourself as one who is vital and strong. Every cell in my body is vibrating with perfect health. I am energetic, strong, and radiantly alive. My body is the perfect vehicle for the expression of my desires in this world. I am grateful for my magnificent health and vitality. For your career and life purpose, abandon all thoughts of struggle or limitation. Instead, declare, I am exactly where I need to be, and I am moving swiftly toward my highest good. My talents are recognized and rewarded. Opportunities come to me in perfect timing. I am living my purpose with joy and abundance. My work is a blessing to the world and a source of deep satisfaction to me. This is not positive thinking, my friends. This is not mere affirmation. This is the conscious direction of the creative power of your imagination through the deliberate choice of your inner conversations. You are not trying to convince yourself of something that is not true. You are aligning yourself with the truth of what you can become when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. The 1% understand that assumption, though false to the world of appearances, it persisted in will harden into fact. They know that what they consistently assume to be true about themselves will manifest in their experience. This is not hope or wishful thinking. This is law. This is the way consciousness operates, whether we understand it or not. During these 2 precious days, you must be vigilant about your inner speech. The moment you catch yourself speaking from lack, fear, or limitation, you must immediately correct yourself. Do not condemn yourself for the old pattern. Simply redirect your inner dialogue back to the assumption of your glory. Say to yourself, I was mistaken in that thought. The truth is that I am blessed, prosperous, loved, and successful. I am grateful for all the good that is mine. You will be amazed at how quickly your emotional state begins to shift when you consciously direct your inner conversations. You will feel more confident, more optimistic, more alive. This is because you are finally speaking to yourself as the person you were meant to be rather than as the person the world has convinced you that you are. The world will try to discourage you from this practice. It will present you with evidence that contradicts your new assumptions. It will remind you of your past failures and limitations. But you must remember that the world is only reflecting back to you your former conversations with yourself. As you change your inner speech, the world must change to match your new assumptions. It cannot do otherwise. This is why only 2 days are required if you do this with complete dedication. 2 days of consistent, persistent, unwavering inner dialogue from the standpoint of your wish fulfilled will create such a powerful impression on your subconscious mind that it will begin immediately to rearrange your world to match your new assumption. You will begin to notice opportunities you never saw before. People will respond to you differently. Resources will appear. Doors will open. This is not magic, though it may seem magical. This is simply consciousness in operation. The key is feeling. You must not merely repeat words. You must feel the truth of what you are affirming. When you say to yourself, I am prosperous, you must feel prosperous. When you affirm, I am loved, you must feel loved. The subconscious mind responds to feeling, not just to words. It is the feeling that creates the impression and the impression that becomes the expression. Let me share with you the secret of secrets. The reason most people fail to change their lives through inner work is that they try to change their circumstances while maintaining their old conversations with themselves. They want new results while keeping old assumptions. This is impossible. You cannot harvest apples from an orange tree, and you cannot experience abundance while maintaining inner conversations of lack. But when you speak to yourself consistently as the person you intend to be, when you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled regardless of current appearances, you impress upon your subconscious mind a new set of beliefs. These beliefs then become the lens through which you see the world, and more importantly, they become the magnet that draws to you the experiences that match your inner conversations. During these next 2 days, you must also be careful about your conversations with others. Do not speak of your problems, your lacks, your fears, or your limitations. Instead, speak only of your good. Share your gratitude, your optimism, your faith in the future. Remember, every word you speak is either creating or destroying, blessing or cursing, lifting up or tearing down. Choose your words wisely, for they are more powerful than you have ever imagined. When someone asks how you are doing, do not recite a litany of complaints or concerns. Instead, respond with genuine enthusiasm. I am wonderful. Life is treating me so well. I am grateful for all the blessings that are flowing into my experience. This is not deception. This is the truth of your new assumption. And as you speak it, you make it more real in your experience. You must understand that joining the 1% is not about becoming better than others. It is about becoming the fullest expression of yourself. It is about realizing that you have been given dominion over your own experience through the power of your imagination and your inner speech. The 1% are not superior beings. They are simply people who have learned to use consciously the power that every human being possesses. The tragedy of most people's lives is that they use this incredible power unconsciously and negatively. They create by default rather than by design. They speak to themselves carelessly and then wonder why their lives are chaotic. They assume limitation and then complain about lack. They focus on what they do not want and then attract more of the same. But you are different. You are among the awakening ones who will take conscious control of your inner dialogue. You will speak to yourself with intention, with purpose, with the absolute certainty that your words are creating your world. You will assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and maintain that assumption until it hardens into fact. I want you to understand the profound responsibility that comes with this knowledge. Once you know that your inner conversations are creating your world, you can never again claim to be a victim of circumstances. You become responsible for your experience. This is both liberating and sobering. It means that you have unlimited power to create the life you desire. But it also means that you must accept responsibility for what you have created in the past through unconscious use of this same power. Do not let this responsibility frighten you. Instead, let it inspire you. You are not at the mercy of the world. The world is at the mercy of your consciousness. You are not a leaf blown by the winds of circumstance. You are the wind itself, directing the course of your experience through the power of your assumptions and inner speech. For the next 2 days, live as if you already possess everything you desire. Not as if in the sense of pretending, but as if in the sense of assuming. There is a profound difference. When you pretend, you know it is not real. When you assume, you accept it as real, even though it may not yet be visible in your world of appearances. Speak to yourself throughout each day as one who has already achieved every goal, fulfilled every dream, overcome every obstacle. When you look in the mirror, see not the person you appear to be, but the person you are becoming through your assumptions. When you consider your bank account, feel not the limitation of what is there, but the abundance of what is coming to you through your new inner conversations. This is the great work, my friends. This is the art of creation through consciousness. This is how the 1% live think, feel, and speak. They do not wait for circumstances to change before they feel successful. They feel successful first, and then circumstances change to match their feeling. I know some of you are thinking that this sounds too simple, too easy. You have been conditioned to believe that significant change requires great effort, struggle, and time. But I tell you that the greatest changes in human experience have always come through shifts in consciousness, not through physical effort alone. When consciousness changes, everything changes. These 2 days will be a test of your faith in this principle. You will be tempted to revert to your old patterns of inner speech. You will be tempted to acknowledge limitation when it appears. You will be tempted to speak from fear rather than from faith. But if you persist, if you maintain your new inner dialogue regardless of appearances, you will witness miracles in your life. Remember, you are not trying to change the world. You are changing your assumptions about yourself. And as these assumptions change, your world must change to conform to them. This is not a theory. This is a law as reliable as the law of gravity. Consciousness is the one and only reality, and all manifestation is consciousness expressing itself. The person who belongs to the 1% knows that there is no power outside of consciousness that can harm or limit them. They know that every experience is the result of an assumption held in consciousness. They know that by changing their assumptions, they change their world. This knowledge makes them masters of their fate, captains of their souls. During these 2 days, pay attention to the feelings that arise as you maintain your new inner dialogue. Notice how different you feel when you speak to yourself as a successful, loved, prosperous person rather than as someone struggling with problems and limitations. This feeling is the key to your transformation. The subconscious mind responds to feeling, and as you feel differently about yourself, you become different. You must also understand that this is not a one-time exercise. While 2 days of intense, focused inner dialogue will create a shift of consciousness, maintaining your new assumptions must become a way of life. The 1% do not practice positive inner speech for 2 days and then return to negative patterns. They make conscious inner dialogue a permanent practice. But these 2 days will give you the experience of what it feels like to live from your desired assumptions, rather than from your current circumstance. You will taste the feeling of being the person you want to be. You will experience the emotional state that comes with knowing yourself to be blessed, prosperous, loved, and successful. And once you have tasted this feeling, you will never want to return to the poverty of your former inner conversations. Let me be very specific about what will happen during these 2 days if you apply this teaching faithfully. First, you will notice a shift in your emotional state. You will feel more confident, more optimistic, more alive. This is the immediate result of speaking to yourself as the person you intend to be rather than as the person you appear to be. Second, you will begin to notice opportunities and possibilities that were invisible to you before. This is because your new assumptions are causing you to see the world through different eyes. What was once hidden becomes obvious. What was once impossible becomes possible. Third, people will begin to respond to you differently. They will sense something different about you, though they may not be able to articulate what it is. You will be radiating the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and others will unconsciously respond to this new vibration. Fourth, circumstances will begin to shift in your favor. Resources will appear. Doors will open. Solutions will present themselves. This is the subconscious mind beginning to rearrange your world to match your new assumptions about yourself. The most important thing to remember is that none of this depends on anyone or anything outside of yourself. You do not need permission from the world to change your inner conversations. You do not need anyone's approval to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You do not need to wait for conditions to improve before you begin speaking to yourself as a successful person. The power is entirely within you, and it is available to you right now. In this very moment, you can begin the inner law that will transform your life. You can start speaking to yourself as the person you have always wanted to be. You can assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and begin living from that assumption. This is what separates the 1% from the 99%. The 99% wait for the world to change their inner conversations. The 1% change their inner conversations and then watch the world change to match their new assumptions. They understand that creation is an inside job, that everything begins in consciousness and then expresses itself in the world of appearances. My friends, you have within you at this very moment the same power that created the universe. It is the power of consciousness, the power of imagination, the power of assumption. When you learn to direct this power through conscious inner dialogue, when you speak to yourself consistently as the person you intend to be, you join the ranks of those who consciously create their reality. The invitation is before you. The power is within you. The time is now. For the next 2 days, discipline yourself to speak to yourself only as one who is blessed, prosperous, loved, and successful. Maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled regardless of what your senses may be telling you. Assume that you already are the person you want to be and persist in that assumption until it becomes your reality. This is not make-believe. This is the most practical thing you could ever do. This is how you join the 1% who understand that they are the operant power in their own lives. This is how you transform from being a victim of circumstances to being the creator of circumstances. This is how you step into your birthright as a conscious creator. The choice is yours, and the power is yours. Use it wisely, use it consciously, use it persistently. Speak to yourself for the next 2 days as the person you have always dreamed of being. And watch as your world transforms to match your inner conversations. This is the secret of the 1%. And now it is yours to apply. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. An assumption, though false to the world, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Your inner conversations are more powerful than you have ever imagined. Use them to create the life you desire, and join the ranks of those who know themselves to be masters of their own destiny.